Hello guys, it's your boy Bernard and welcome to another episode of the Angry Blerd podcast where I will be discussing everything nerdy that has caught my eye this week. And I just realized I hope the audio is coming from a microphone as opposed to coming from the microphone that is built in. That's crazy. I left my smoothie in the freezer for too long now. It's frozen. Oh well, what are you gonna do? Okay, so slow week due to the fact that it was Thanksgiving. But I was able to cobble a few stories together, and let's go ahead and get into those now, shall we? So, everyone knows that Zack Snyder's been at Netflix for the past, 4 or 5 years at this point. First did Army of the Dead, then did Army of Thieves, produced it. Did the animated Twilight of the Gods and the 2 Rebel Moon movies. But apparently, Netflix has slowly been canceling his projects. I don't know if it's because the lack of appeal of them or what, but so they canceled the 3rd project, which was supposed to be a live action Twilight of the Gods film. So the animated series, from what I heard, was somewhat decent, but they did not but they did not renew it for a 2nd season. He's also supposed to be doing a movie around the LAPD, but that's rumored to not be happening. And all of this is just basically because of the fact that his stuff isn't popping off as much as they thought it was. Because, where are the Snyder Bros? Do y'all only care about Justice League and Superman? Or do y'all care about Zack Snyder as a director? Because actually, you don't care about Zack Snyder as a director. Because for starters, Watchmen bombed. 300 was successful. So the Guardians of Ga'Hoole bombed. Sucker Punch bombed. Let's just look at Zack Snyder filmography real quick, because that's a good chunk of it after, Army of the Dead. So Zachary Edward Schneider. All right, feature films. 300. That was very successful. $456 million box office with a $65 million budget. Watchmen. As I said before, this movie historically bombed. Budget was 130 to 150 million. Box office 187. So in order to make a profit, you have to recoup. So this movie needed to make at least, let's say, 310 to be on the safe side. Obviously didn't do that. Legend of the Guardians, The Owls of Ga'Hoole, based on a book. All right, $80 million budget, 140.1 box office. Needed to make 160. 165 at the most. Sucker Punch, 75 to $82 million budget. Box office 89.8. So technically, y'all didn't start caring about Zack Snyder until Man of Steel, which we know made $670 million with a with a budget of 225 to 258. Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, 250 to 325 million. Box office 874. Profit. So Justice League, he is still considered the director. $300 million budget, $661.3 million. So just barely profitable. All right. After that, Zack Snyder's Justice League went straight to HBO Max, or Max at the time, whatever it was. It was going through an identity crisis. Army of the Dead, very successful. Like I said, but apparently this was released in theaters. Did not know that. Budget of $70 million. Box office $1 million. So y'all really stopped caring about Zack Snyder after Justice League. Rebel Moon, as we all know, no one liked this movie. The budget was split on this one with the part 2, The Scargiver. I don't know anybody who watched The Scargiver, because that first one, that was a straight up snooze fest. And I was just like, please stop. But he's got The Last Photograph coming out, which is not with Netflix. We'll see how y'all react to that one, since it is not a super explosion jerk off masturbatory fest as most Zack Snyder movies are. And keep in mind, I don't have a problem with Zack Snyder. I have a problem with Snyder Bros. I have several Zack Snyder movies on the shelf. I have 2 copies of 300 because one came with a triple feature set, and then I turned around and I bought the Steelbook. which did not come with a digital code. So I got screwed over on that one. Also have Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Justice League, and the Snyder Cut, as well as the Snyder movies he produced. So Aquaman, Birds of Prey, Suicide Squad. I don't think he's a producer on the Suicide Squad, but I have that. I pretty much have everything in the Snyderverse, with the exception of Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, which I need to buy for Black Friday. So hopefully that's on sale for like $5. I'm recording this Saturday night. Should have bought it yesterday or on Thanksgiving, but didn't think about it till just now. All right, my next story is about season 3 of Wednesday. So if you watched season 2, you knew that Aunt Ophelia was a big part of it, especially in the last episode, because it was revealed that she was still alive. And she wrote a message saying that, you got to kill Wednesday. But we have a confirmation on who will be playing Aunt Ophelia. And that will be Eva Green, who worked with Tim Burton on other projects like Dark Shadows, which nobody saw. Miss Peregrine's Home for Particular Children, and 2019's Dumbo. She also worked on Penny Dreadful. A lot of people call her a horror icon. I don't really see that because, really, Penny Dreadful. I didn't watch Penny Dreadful, but I don't know. But she was also in The Golden Compass, Casino Royale, Kingdom of Heaven. I'm just naming things that, a lot of people may know or kind of remember. 300, Rise of an Empire. Sin City, A Dame to Kill For. Based on a true story. Apparently she did some Three Musketeer movies, but other than that, Dumbo might be the last thing to come out in the US. She went back to France and did a bunch of that stuff, like Three Musketeers movies. Where are these? Yeah, these are French releases. Yeah, no US release. Not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's supposed to be a 3-part series and only 2 have come out. TV, like I said, Penny Dreadful. She did something called The Luminaries. Never heard of it. And there was a Quantum Solace game. Oh yeah, that's right. It was for PS3. So yeah, she will be playing Aunt Ophelia. Next story is a movie you guys all decided to not watch because you all unanimously said, you know what? F Jared Leto. Tron Ares will be hitting streaming for purchase the first week of December. So this coming week when you guys hear this, and the physical release will be sometime in January. So they said that there's a lot of behind the scenes content, including featurettes about the history of Tron, developing the light cycle sequences, and one that's described as a personal journey with Jared Leto, and looking at Ares' creation. I really wish that this movie would have done a lot better than it did. I don't think it made a profit at all. So, Jared Leto tried to revive the Tron series. Like I said, he was a producer on this movie. He basically got the movie made and didn't even break even. $180 to $200 million budget, box office 142. So, yeah, Tron is dead. Next story is about a video game franchise that I never cared about because it's first person and it is not Call of Duty. It is Far Cry. So, Far Cry will be getting a TV adaptation. I believe this was rumored a long time ago, but it is now confirmed that it will be done by none other than Noah Hawley and Rob McElhenney from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, who, decided to shorten his name to Rob Mac. Because for some reason, people can't say McElhenney. I'm pretty sure even Wikipedia has a... no, they do not. I was going to say they have like the speaker where it's pronounced, but they have like the breakdown of it. It's McElhenney. It's not that hard, people. So yeah, he's going by Rob Mac now. Where is this? So according to Variety, they will be adapting the Ubisoft video game that centers on survival in an action-packed genre setting. So it could be an island where mad scientists are running experiments or extremist militias are rampaging through post-apocalyptic collapsed societies. So the blend of action and anthology makes the sense for Hawley, and the madcap energy and narrative definitely benefits Mac Henning, who will apparently also star in this. Okay. Well, yeah, Noah Hawley said, what I love about the Far Cry franchise is it's an anthology. Each game is a variation of a theme, the same way each season of Fargo is a variation of theme. To create a big action show that can change from year to year while exploring the nature of humanity through this complex and chaotic lens is a dream come true. I'm excited to partner with Rob and bring our shared, irrelevant, ambitious sensibility to the screen. So I'm going to watch this because the only Far Cry adaptation that was ever released was a movie that nobody saw, which came out, when was this? I want to say a decade ago. I'm waiting for the Wikipedia to come up. Here we go. Live action adaptations. I'm sorry, 2008. Apparently there was also a miniseries in 2012. But yeah, the 2008 movie was directed by Yul Boll, who, if you ever see this guy's name on a video game based movie, do not watch it. So he did I'm tripping. Blood Rain. He also did House of the Dead, Alone in the Dark, In the Name of the King, Blood Rain 2, Alone in the Dark 2, Far Cry. Okay, a different Rampage. I was gonna say he didn't direct Rampage. He did a third Blood Rain movie. In the Name of the King 2, forgot about that one with Dolph Lundgren. In the Name of the King 3, whatever Anger of the Dead is. And it starred some guy by the name of Till Schwinger, who is a German filmmaker and director. Yeah, never heard of him. But yeah, so hopefully we get a better version of this. Yeah, box office bomb, $30 million budget, only made $743,000. That is insane in 2008. All right, what is my next story? So this is a short one, but hopefully it actually comes to fruition. Guillermo del Toro was doing a panel at some convention or something, I don't remember. But he also he revealed that his most recent release, Frankenstein, will get a physical media release, and he said that at least one deleted scene will be included with the re-release. So that's good. I mean, I actually, coincidentally enough, was on Time Hop. Sorry guys, if you don't know about the Time Hop app, it is able to show you memories of posts that you made throughout the years. You can link it to your photo library, your Google photo library if you don't have an Android. Dropbox, let me actually go to it real quick. Tell you everything that you can connect to a Facebook. Once upon a time, Twitter, Instagram, something called Swarm, which I guess is a photo sharing app, Flickr, Tumblr as well. So yesterday, a post came up where I said I was surprised that, in 2023, Netflix is doing physical releases, and that was for season 1 of The Sandman. And it's funny because Netflix did used to do physical releases. So I don't know if you guys recall, but once upon a time, you could buy I want to say between that 2014 to maybe 2018 time frame, all the Netflix series on physical media. So Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Stranger Things, House of Cards, Marco Polo, they all had physical releases once upon a time. I'm actually going to go to see if you can actually get these now on Amazon. Because Stranger Things, their cases were cool. They were basically cassettes. Stranger Things Blu-ray. So apparently you can still get the season 1 Blu-ray set for $24.99. Season 2 is a hard to get. It looks like you can buy it used for as low as $76. There are some comics. 4Ks are hard to get, $199, $69.99. DVDs are currently unavailable. Let's look at Daredevil. Seasons 1 and 2, $74.99 if you want to get those. Looks like they are only on a, I don't know if these are region free, but this might be Canada or the UK. I don't know what country this is. But yeah, once upon a time, you could get those at Target and Best Buy. Like when I was working at Best Buy in 2014, 2015, we had Daredevil and I didn't buy it. And Target had Stranger Things with the VHS cassette covers and I didn't buy it. And they were just sitting on the shelf for so long. I probably want to say maybe it was like right before the pandemic, they pulled them because nobody was buying them. It's the same thing with like Voltron Legendary Defender, which I, called Gundam a few weeks ago. Well, sorry, not a few weeks ago, last week. Yeah, like the Voltron Legendary Defender DVD set, seasons 1 and 2, unavailable. Seasons 3 through 6, also unavailable. So yeah, and Voltron isn't available on Netflix anymore. So if you want it, you have to actually buy the individual seasons. You can buy them on Prime and Apple TV and wherever else you buy your stuff. But yeah, hopefully, Netflix actually releases that physically and gives it like a nice cover. But I'm going to take a break. Dubby, y'all know what to do. Be right back.
This episode is brought to you by Dubby. Dubby gives you focus and energy without the crash and jitters. It has no sugar, fillers, or artificial dyes. Mix 1 packet or scoop into 8 or 12 ounces of water. Stir or shake well. Some powderiness is normal, and it has all the important vitamins. So this has vitamin C, B3, B6, and B12. And it's made from coffee fruit extract. So drink it and go conquer a task. And go to Debbie.gg and use my promo code Angry Blerd 10 at checkout to save 10% on your order. That's Dubby.gg with promo code Angry Blerd 10.
All right, I'm back. So if you guys have been living under a rock or just don't care about this video game, like me, although I have been playing the Battle Royale, I don't like building stuff. Why would I need to build crap in a video game? Fortnite is getting a long lost chapter for Kill Bill in the game. So it's called Yuki's Revenge. It is actually happening this weekend. So it's called, like I said, Yuki's Revenge is called Fortnite After Dark, the Lost Chapter. It will start November 30th at 2 p.m. It says you will be able to find it at the top row of Discover. Doors for the viewing experience open 30 minutes before the show starts. But if gaming is not your thing, starting December 5th, participating theaters in the United States, Canada, and the UK will show Yuki's Revenge as part of the limited theatrical run of Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Affair. So that's actually cool. I'm actually going to check out the trailer. So let's watch this now, okay? I don't have any headphones, so I'm going to have to do this.
Konnichiwa. Yuki. Bingo!
40-second teaser trailer. So when does this take place? That's what I want to know. Because,
Stay in your house and get down on the floor!
is she really a go-go? I mean, the animation looks good. It's kind of borderline like the actual Fortnite animation and like more realistic per se. So yeah, sure, why not? My next story is in regards to the fourth Mummy movie. So Brandon Fraser was speaking with AP News and he said that this movie is the one he wanted to make. So this is what he said. He said, the one I wanted to make was never made. NBC had the rights to broadcast the Olympics that year. So they put two together and we went, so they put 2 and 2 together and we went to China for the Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. working in Shanghai, an incredible experience. I'm proud of the third one because I think it's a good standalone movie. We picked up and did what we do with a different crew on deck, and we gave it our best shot. But the one I wanted to make is forthcoming, and I've been waiting 20 years for this call. Sometimes it was loud, sometimes it was a faint telegraph. Now it's time to give the fans what they want. So when this movie was announced, I clearly said that I have never watched any of the Mummy movies from beginning to end. I've always seen bits and pieces of the first and second one. Nobody saw Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, so it's good to know that I'm not alone in this. But when this one does come out, I do plan on watching those movies. I wonder if they're still on HBO Max. As a matter of fact, let me check right now on my phone, because that might be a thing I do, like not this weekend, because Survivor Series is airing right now as we speak. So I'm going to have to turn on my VPN so I can watch that, since, as I've been complaining before about WWE doing a partnership deal with ESPN, and I'm paying for ESPN via cable, and I still can't watch the freaking show. Watch the events. Like, I really wish they would have stayed with Peacock. At this point, I'm rambling because I had to sign back into my HBO Max account for some dumb reason. Nope, the Tom Cruise Mummy is on there. So they might be on Peacock since they are Universal movies. So I'll probably watch those soon, as maybe after I finish the next 2 episodes of Bel-Air. Anyway, also, what am I talking about? Since this is part of the same interview, I will flip these two around. Chloe Zhao was doing an interview. If you don't know, I talked about her last week. She is one of the executive producers on the new Buffy the Vampire Slayer revival series. She was doing an interview with Screen Rant that she is still interested in doing a sequel to Eternals. And she said, basically, this would be very similar to the comic Avengers, X-Men, Eternals Judgment Day. So she said, I would like for Asherin, who is the Celestial, to return. So she said, I would love that. Look, you're right, and you understood it. It's about a pantheon of gods discussing the nature of humanity and ultimately their judgment, which is what Asheron said, I'll be back for judgment. And the reason why those brief plays existed is for humanity to see how the gods are seeing us. So we would evaluate how we were as part of this cycle of the universe. Are we doing a good job? Are we kind to each other? Are we getting to know ourselves well enough? It's there for a reason. This kind of myth and these films are the modern version of that to me. So I would love to bring them back and have more discussion about the world about the world we live in. I'm really proud of it. So I believe I said it during the review. If I didn't, I've said it multiple times. I liked Eternals, okay? It was like one of the first Marvel movies to come back to theaters after the pandemic, because Black Widow went straight to Disney Plus, hence the reason why Scarlett Johansson had a lawsuit and everything. So I believe this was the first, because this came out before No Way Home, right? I can't remember. Time is a blur. But my only issue with this was too many, not time jumps, but flashbacks. So I really wish like it would have been like more of a linear story up until a certain point, because you don't want to give away the ending to the movie in a flashback. Like you can show that like when we get to the climax of the third act, but I didn't like the back and forth flashbacks to present day jumps, and it was just really annoying to me. But yeah, still love the movie. All right, so I got my iPad, so you guys already know what that means. I really gotta get this fixed. I can hear the glass like creaking there when I wave it around. It is comic preview time. So the company that I used to get my previews from, Previews World, has pretty much gone belly up. So that's why last month I didn't have any merch. It's not that I didn't want any merch. It's just the publication that does previews now, Random House, they don't cover any type of merch that you can order. So no DeLoreans, no Funkos, none of that. So basically this is all that previews is going to be, just comic previews from here on out, unfortunately, like I said before. All right. So this is coming from Image Comics. This is Radiant Black and White. So this is a one-shot based in the universe of Radiant Black. which I told you guys is a comic that came out like right around the pandemic or right before the pandemic. It's written by Kyle Higgins and the art is by Marcelo Costa with David Finch doing the cover. David Finch is actually one of my favorite artists. I've met him twice, I want to say. So synopsis is simply Radiant Black celebrates its 5th anniversary. For the first time ever, this issue reprints Marcelo Costa's crisp inks from Radiant Black 1. Don't miss the chance to go back to where it began in stunning black and white. So, okay, I thought this was going to be like a special thing, but it's just a reprint of issue 1 in black and white. That's still kind of cool. It's 48 pages, $4.99. All right, and I said I really didn't have that much this time around, so I'm going to jump to DC Vertigo. I briefly talked about this one. It was announced when it was announced that Vertigo was coming back as a publisher. So this is Bleeding Hearts, and this is written by Dennis Camp with art by Stephen Moran. This will go on sale on February 11th. It is $3.99 for 40 pages. Synopsis is: the zombies won, and 10 years after the fall of humanity, they're the dominant form of life or not life on Earth. They've developed their own cultural practices, their own language, and their own society. Miles pokes golf balls through the head. Poke, for short, is a beloved member of his community. With his brother in arm mush, he's happy to shamble along through the only world he can remember until this day his heart mysteriously starts beating again. Sounds a little bit like Warm Bodies. And in a blink, the first human he sees have stopped looking like food and started to look like friends. The team behind 20th Century Men, the bold mission statement that launched writer Dennis Camp and artist Stephen Moran to the next level of the comics industry, has reunited to bring you a world ruled by a ruthless kill or be killed logic pitted against the demands of a single beating, bleeding, emotional heart. So sounds like Warm Bodies, which isn't a bad thing, but I'm going to check it out. I like Dennis Camp. I pretty much read basically almost every book he writes. The only one I'm not a fan of is the Absolute Martian Manhunter, because I just don't like the concept of, like, is the Martian an actual Martian, or is it just some type of issue with John Jones after his accident? All right. Also, from DC Vertigo, this is In the Life. I believe this was another one that was announced when they announced that Vertigo was coming back to publication. And this is written by Kyle Starks with art by Steve. I never know how to say this guy's name. Pugh. It's P-U-G-H. I'm saying it like Hugh Jackman, Hugh Grant. Because I don't think it's Pugga. So this will go on sale on February 18th. It's 40 pages, $3.99. Professional hitman Eddie Stallion has messed up. He accidentally robbed the Raven, a high-ranking boss of the international cabal of assassins, the menagerie of which Eddie is a member, or he was. Now price is on his head. Eddie chooses to hide in the one place everyone knows he never go, a small Midwestern town of Pluto, home of his estranged father and known hard-ass George Stallion. Looking for safe harbor, Eddie finds his resentful father dying of cancer, old friends looking to collect that bounty, menagerie assassins have wandered into town, a canceled newspaper comic strip creator turned local crime lord, and oh yeah, his childhood first love too. So yeah, I'm going to check this out because Kyle Starks and Steve Pugh also worked on Peacemaker Tries Hard, which was a mini-series as well. So they said this story, they present the story of a man-child assassin with some grown-up problems. As Eddie grows more attached to the people of Pluto, he'll have to step in and solve those problems the only way a hitman knows how. I don't know if this is a one-shot. I'm pretty sure it's a one-shot. It's $5.99. So this is Superman Chains of Love Special. So this is coming out just in time for Valentine's Day. Written by Leah Williams and Dan Slott. Shout out to Dan. With art by Igara and Rosie Camp. 48 pages, $5.99. February 4th. Love is in the Air, also Death, and Superman Chains of Love Special. Step aside, Daily Planet. A new news force is taking the city of Metropolis by storm when the former felon Love Wire is released from prison. An unholy alliance and frankly wholesome romance with the Creeper is forged in the fires of supervillain battle. But with two of Metropolis's most notorious shock jock media personalities getting together, becomes the debut of a new outlet to rival even that of the Daily Planet. Witness the rise of wiretapping, some shocking surprises in the Superman Chains of Love special. So, yeah, I'm going to check that out. All right. This is New History of the DC Universe, the Dakota Incident. So this is 40 pages, $5.99. This will be out February 5th. Written by Joshua P. Ildich, Stephanie Williams, Morgan Hampton, and Nicholas Draper Ivey. With art by Carlo Pagulian, Valentin Delandro, and Edwin Galman. It sucks that Nicholas isn't drawing on this because he drew on Static Season 1. He's also doing the Batman Static Beyond book, which started last month as well. So it says, spinning out of the pages of the New History of the DC Universe, uncover an untold moment in DC history, where a murder leads to an all-out war between the heroes of Dakota City and the U.S. government. As their home becomes a battlefield, what must Static, Rocket, and the others sacrifice to keep their loved ones safe? But as heroes fall in the past, the stage is set for their return in the present. So I'm reading the milestone stuff that comes out, and it is clearly established in that book that is an alternate universe because Baby Kal-El got murked as soon as he landed on. I don't remember if he got killed as soon as he landed on the planet or if he died in an entry to Earth. All right, so that's it for DC. So for Marvel, I have Daredevil, written by Stephanie Phillips, with art by Lee Garbett. This is, doesn't say how many pages it is. $5.99, but it comes out February 2nd. Shout out to Random House for doing that. How many pages? I really hate Marvel sometimes because they do not put a page count on here. Tell me everything else about variant version covers and whatnot. It says you can bury the bodies, but never the ghosts. Hell's Kitchen is full of secrets, but no secret stays buried for long. As a fearsome new supervillain named Omen has targeted Matt Murdock, it will be his alter ego Daredevil who takes the hits. But beware, the mysterious new player isn't all they appear. A secret Daredevil will have to learn quickly as he scrambles to settle into a life in status quo we've never seen him before. Look alive, Marvelites, an all new, unprecedented era of Daredevil starts right here. So I'm all in for that. But my issue is, Marvel, can y'all please stop relaunching your books after a year or two? Just keep the legacy number going. We don't need a legacy number underneath number 1. It's just dumb. All right, next one. So this is a one-shot leading into a crossover event. This is Spider-Man Venom Death Spiral, written by Charles Soule. Shout out to Charles. I met him 2017, I want to say. And he was writing Red Lanterns, I believe. He was either writing Red Lanterns or Green Lanterns. It was something over at DC. I know he was also writing Swamp Thing. With art by Jesus Sayas. Also, Joe Kelly and Al Ewing will be co-writing this as well. So I guess Joe Kelly's writing the Spider-Man part and Al is writing the Venom part, and Charles will be doing like the lead into the crossover, I guess. He said, first your friends, then your family, then you. The next epic Spider-Man and Venom crossover starts here and continues through April. A new superpower serial killer is on the loose, and they're coming for Spidey, Venom, and everyone in between. What terrible secret has Carnage learned, and what does it have to do with Spider-Man? So, a little too late for that. We already know the secret that got leaked because Eddie Brock has bonded with Carnage in order to stay alive, and Carnage has slowly been creeping his way through Eddie's memories, and he now knows that Carnage now knows that that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. So that's the terrible secret. So maybe the Carnage symbiote is going to hijack Eddie's body while he's asleep and tries to go after Peter. I don't know, but a little too late for that. Next book, Generation X-23. This will be written by Jody Hauser with art by Jacopo Camangi. February 18th, $4.99. Her name is Wolverine, but the legend of X-23 grows. Laura Kinney was brainwashed and trained from birth to be the ultimate assassin as X-23. She's long put that life behind her, but it seems she hasn't quite outrun it yet. When Laura and Gabby encounter someone who appears to be their long-lost friend, the harrowing plot they uncover will turn their worlds upside down. Excuse me. The new generation of X subjects is here, and they follow in the deadly footsteps of X-23. Featuring a host of new heroes and villains, Generation X-23 will have a surprise in store for the Wolverine. Oh, a lot of this stuff that Marvel is doing with the X-Men stuff now are miniseries because I guess they realize, you don't want to flood the market with too many X books because they don't sell. Like Psylocke got canceled. Phoenix is ending next month, I believe, with issue 15 if it didn't already come out. But yeah, Punisher, written by Benjamin Percy, who I am loving on Red Hulk right now. With art by Jose Luis Soares. Crime's Worst Nightmare is back in an all-new ongoing series. As unflinching and uncompromising as ever, Frank Castle's memory is damaged and he's hunting for answers and criminals alike. He'll get more than he bargained for both when the notorious bloody Jigsaw returns. But the Punisher dead in his sights. Sorry. This will be out. Why is this solicited? Oh, okay. February 25th. $5.99. I thought it was for January, but that's the last day that comic book stores can order it. All right. Storm, Earth's Mightiest Mutant, written by Moira Ayodali, with art by Federico Manchin. February 4th, $4.99. This is a miniseries as well. I think it's a 6th issue. The war above all, the most dangerous war in existence, thunders louder and closer as the cosmos brace for annihilation. Storm, unaware of the coming threat, turns her gaze inward to her home, to Earth. The Earth's mightiest mutant becomes Earth's protector once more, and in a new daring chapter of her life. In this new beginning, Storm shares her Japanese tea ceremony with an enemy and visits France for a masquerade with monsters. However, it all ends in a gut-wrenching funeral. For in this new era of Aurora Monroe, brought to you by Moira Aldialde and Federico Manchin, Mistress Death is never far behind. So is Storm going to die? I don't think they're going to kill Storm. Okay. Since Fox has purchased Disney, Disney purchased Fox. They've slowly been incorporating Fox franchises into the Marvel Universe. Like currently we have Predator kills the Marvel Universe, the Alien versus Captain America miniseries. There was a Predator limited series, an Alien limited series. But now we got Planet of the Apes versus Fantastic Four. So this is written by Josh Trujillo with art by Andrea Davidi. I like Andrea Davidi. I just feel like Andrea Davidi only does one shot, so this might be a one shot. Don't know. Worlds collide. Marvel's first family find themselves stranded on the Planet of the Apes. Witness history as the Fantastic Four cross paths for the very first time with Cornelius, Zero, Ursurus, and of course Dr. Zaius. But they won't be gone long. They won't be going alone. Familiar foes from the Marvel Universe have their sights set on Ape City, setting the stage for the battle royale that fans won't forget. So it's the Red Ghost going with the Fantastic Four because that's the only solution I can think of. All right, this is also a one shot. The Fall of Ultraman. This is written by Matt Groom and Kyle Higgins, who work on the Massiveverse. So Radiant Black, Radiant Red, that stuff over at Image. Kyle Higgins worked at DC, worked on Batman: The Gates of Gotham. Nightwing, One Over the Boom, did Power Rangers. He's responsible for creating Lord Draken. And this is illustrated by Davide Tende. And this will be on sale February 11th, $4.99. Together, they've crossed dimensions, unfurled conspiracies, tangled with giant kaiju, and saved civilizations. But now, Ultraman and his team are given the unexpected glimpse of the path ahead, and the path leads unavoidably to the loss of our world's greatest hero. What cosmic threat will be Ultraman's undoing? Will the United Science Patrol be redeemed? And will Earth finally be lost to the sinister machinations that have been plaguing it for decades? It's time to find out. What started with Rise of Ultraman has been leading to this, at long last, witness the end of the saga, the Fall of Ultraman. So I honestly wish that was a limited series because I don't think you can tell that story in a one shot. Okay, so I had Mark Spector, Moon Knight. So once again, another Marvel relaunch, written by Jed Mackey with Devmala Pramanik. Said Mark Spector has been many things: an Avenger, a Fist of Khonshu, a Karnak cowboy, and now kidnapped. But by whom and why? Don't they have any idea they trapped Moon Knight? So this is $4.99. I don't have the release date because I added it at the last minute. So this is also Cyclops, written by Alex Packendale with art by Rohei Otinio. This is a mini-series, 5 issues. Scott Summers is a mutant who is always in near total control of his powers and his emotions. But what happens when he's separated from the X-Men? Lost in a mountain wilderness without the visor that keeps his devastating powers in check. Will he be able to stay alive when Donald Pierce and his cyborgs, the Reavers, are hunting him? Writer Alex Packendale and artist Rohei Otinio bring you a tale of the X-Men's leader at his most savage core. I like the fact that all the covers, they're low-key variants of like different versions of Cyclops' suit. So like the Clayton Crane cover is not his first class suit, but it's like his first adult suit. And this Godchill, I don't know who this dude is, but that's a cool name, by the way. It's his Cyclops' more modern, out of the ashes suit. So the suit that he currently has in Hikum Hibachi went straight up with the 90s not black and yellow, blue and yellow. Magic and Colossus is also a 5-issue miniseries written by Ashley Allen with art by Jermaine Peralta. The mutant siblings reunite. Ileana Rasputin is a cynical sorceress with power harnessed from the dark realm of Limbo. Pyotr Rasputin is made of metal, but with a heart much softer than his exterior. But despite being family, blood does not run thicker than water. When they return to their mother country, they discover ancient monsters from Russian folklore preying on the innocent. Can these two mutant siblings set aside their differences and save their country? The creative team behind Magic, Ashley Allen and Jermaine Peralta, reunite for an X-Men story full of epic fights, mysticism, and family drama. 32 pages, $4.99. Okay, Loco, this is for you. Probably not going to buy it, but letting you know, Wade Wilson, Deadpool, written by Benjamin Percy, art by Jeff Shaw. So Jeff Shaw is working on the Red Hulk book, which I believe is going to be ending. So, I like that Eddie Gradnoff cover. I'm going to see if I can get that blown up. Dangerous, unhinged, deadly. Deadpool is a man on the brink, and that means the jobs are deadlier, the stakes are higher, and the humor is darker than ever. But Wade Wilson isn't laughing. A dark memory haunts Deadpool as a mysterious client leads him down a troubling path. This way lies redemption? No, something far worse. Wade can never be forgiven for what he's done, and this new ongoing series begins. And yeah, guys, that's it for previews. Like I said, the company that's responsible for previews now, Derry, is Random House. So they only do like books and publications and things of that nature. So I don't know what to tell you, but I do know what I will tell you on this is we're going to go ahead and cue up this spoiler alert. And I am going to talk about the season finale of Stranger Things Season 4. Chapter 9, The Piggyback, which was written and directed by the Duffer Brothers. So, the Hawkins group forms a plan to, they enacted their plan because they made up the plan last episode to use Max as bait for Vecna while Eddie, Dustin, Robin, Steve, and Nancy all go into the Upside Down while Robin, Steve, and Nancy go to kill Vecna. Dustin and Eddie will create a distraction. Erica, Max, and Lucas are going to go to this Creel house, but it doesn't go according to plan because not only does Jason and his teammates show up, Eddie ends up sacrificing himself to the Demobats. 11's group finds a Surfer Boy pizza. And gives the guy there some weed so they can create an isolation tank for her so she can enter Max's mind and fight Vecna. But Vecna obviously beats 11 and almost kills Max. And you also get the revelation that I forgot that he joined forces with the Mind Flayer. So he drew it as a child and it was there. And, he's been in control of it ever since, 11 sent them there, 82 or something like that. I'm sorry, he created the Mind Flayer. But Max did die briefly. So Vecna was able to open 4 gates, and Hawkins went straight to hell. Jason got split down the middle. I don't get why he was just laying there, and anyway, he's dead. Meanwhile, in Russia, Hopper, Joyce, Murray, Anatov, and Yuri all go to the prison to kill the remaining Demogorgons so they can give the kids and Hawkins a fighting chance, since they called the number of Owens to let them know that they were in Russia, Hopper's alive, so on and so forth. But the lady who works with Owens told them that, the kids went to Hawkins, and I don't know. Meanwhile, back in the Upside Down, Robin hits one of the vines in this hive mind, so she almost gets suffocated. Nancy and Steve try to break her out, but then they also get roped up. During the fight with 11, Vecna gets a little distracted, and they eventually get free, and they set him on fire. Nancy shoots him like a good 5-6 times or whatever, falls out the window, and somehow Vecna survived, but they all leave. And then 2 days later, you see people leaving from the so-called earthquake. Our entire gang is reunited. Max is in a coma after 11 brought her back to life, but 11 also tried to reach into her mind to wake her up from the coma, but nothing was there. Will knows that Vecna is still alive because he had the goosebumps on his neck. And so, like, the Upside Down begins invading Hawkins creepily by just slowly killing the grass and everything around, which I remembered that part because you could tell this was basically a pandemic season, because you got people in groups of 2 in the field, but they're roughly about 6 feet apart, with 11 about a good 8 feet from everybody in the foreground. But yeah, very good episode. I forgot how good the season finale was. 2 hours long, so this was a movie. And hopefully the series finale is a movie, since they're releasing it in theaters. So, I don't know. Hopefully it is. Alright, so I am now going to talk about It Chapter 2. Not Chapter 2. Welcome to Derry. I am tripping. Episode 5, I want to say. Yes, 29 Nebo Street. Directed by Emmanuel Osei Kufer Jr., written by Brad Caleb Kane. So, Commander Shaw told Leroy his plan to obtain the pillars that the Native American people put around Derry to keep Pennywise contained so they can hope to control him. Maddie shows back up to, I don't know where that building is that the kids hang out. And he tells them that Phil is still alive. We haven't seen Maddie since like episode 1. He was the kid who tried to run away. Was in the car with like the lady gave birth to a bat demon and all that stuff. And Maddie was obviously one of the kids that was in the movie theater. Daniel is basically on the verge of being comatose. And when Rose finds out that, they have him. Meanwhile, the natives are basically having a town hall about, what's been going on with the cycle so far. Rose also tries to get Shaw to not try to capture this thing, but he's like, whatever, we're gonna do it anyway. Veronica's dad is sent to Shawshank, but there was a bus accident and he escaped. So all the kids go along in the sewer. Marge, who has an eye patch now, but has told people that Lily is not responsible for the incident with her eye. All go into the sewer, and you realize that it was a trap. Maddie is not Maddie. Maddie is Pennywise. So this is the first time we saw Pennywise in this show in full clown form. But they all also took Lily's mom's drugs to help her relax. What is that? Like morphine? I don't know. They all freak out and they run when they see all the kids' bodies. Lily gets left behind. Leroy and Polly and a bunch of soldiers are in the sewer with Daniel, who has one of the shards from the meteorite, asteroid, whatever you want to call it, brought Pennywise. Daniel leaves them. Soldiers start getting killed off one by one. Leroy freaks out when he sees his mom, sees his wife down there, shoots her in the head. Polly doesn't see anything, but the kids come running around the corner. Leroy's still, kind of not shook per se, but he might be a little shook because Halloran said that he doesn't have any fear, gets ready to shoot his son, but Paulie's like, I see him, but he's not listening. So Paulie takes the shot for Mike, and he unfortunately dies. Is it Mike? I'm sorry, Will. For Will. Will is Mike's dad. I'm tripping. Yeah, but Pennywise tries to kill Lily, who is the only one like left in the sewer because everyone's like, bye, bitch. And Daniel dropped a part of the shard that can stop Pennywise, so he can't cross it. So he just basically leaves. Hamlin has this whole situation where Pennywise is in his head trying to get into like his psyche and whatever, but he exits the sewer and he sees Paulie, who is dead. We also find out who the white woman that Ronnie's dad Hank was sleeping with, and it was none other than Ingrid, who is one of the caretakers at Juniper Hill. And Ingrid goes and sees Charlotte, who is Will's mom, to basically, because she was the only one who was even trying to help him. So yeah, a lot going on right there. But very good episode. I like when they do the Pennywise run. It's not creepy, but I don't know how to describe it, but I like it. And that's all I can say, really. Very good episode. So if y'all have not been watching Welcome to Derry, I don't know what you're waiting on. But now I'm going to get into my last review, and that will be of Now You See Me, Now You Don't. So this movie is directed by Ruben Fleischer with a screenplay by Seth Grahame-Smith, Rhett Reese, Paul Winnick, and Michael Leslie. I know Rhett Reese's name from somewhere. Oh, Deadpool. And I know Paul Wernick. Did he also work on Deadpool? Yes, he did. And Zombieland. And Seth Grahame-Smith also did Beetlejuice. I don't know Michael Leslie. He's a British playwright. I don't know why I went Irish with that. Oh, he did Assassin's Creed. Stars Jesse Eisenberg, Woody Harrelson, Dave Franco, Isla Fisher, Justice Smith, Dominic Sessa, Ariana Greenblatt, Lizzie Kaplan, Rosamund Pike, and Morgan Freeman. All right. So 10 years later, after the Four Horsemen's last performance, we got a trio of illusionists, Charlie Bosco, Leroy, and June Ruclair, are impersonating the Horsemen using deepfakes and holograms to basically rob a crypto bro. When Atlas shows up to confront them, the real one, J. Daniel Atlas, played by Jesse Eisenberg, tells them that the Eye sent them there to steal the heart diamond from Veronica Vandenberg, who is played by Rosamund Pike, who was the head of the South African Diamond Company, formed by her late father that also launders money for rich people. So they all get to Antwerp and they steal the diamond, but then Jack shows up to help them out, as well as Henley Reeves and Marriott McKinley, saying that they all received the card, and the only reason why they even came was because the Eye told them to, and the reason they also explain why they haven't worked together in over a decade, because the last time they did, Dylan, who was played by Mark Ruffalo, ended up being incarcerated in a Russian prison. So they find out that they have to go to a chateau in France, where they are met by none other than Thaddeus, who's played by Morgan Freeman, who was also contacted by the Eye, where they have to figure out what the hell is going on with Veronica. And they find out that her father was bankrolling Nazis back in the day, and they find her client list and all the illegal activities that she's been a part of. She also has the French police track them down to the estate, which forces them to split up. Merritt, Jack, and June are all caught, while Charlie, Bosco, Daniel, and Henley escape through the tunnels, but Thaddeus is also shot. Veronica interrogates Merritt, who figures out that her father had an affair, which led to her mother's suicide, and then Veronica murdered the housekeeper and her half-brother. Lula, played by none other than, what is her name? Lizzie Kaplan, shows up and you find out that her and Jack were a thing, but they split up. So she breaks out Jack and Merritt. June basically gets away on her own. Merritt helps her out because she gets caught by a cop, but then Merritt still gets stuck behind. Veronica reaches out to the horseman and says, hey, you give me my diamond back, I give you your friend back. They do it in exchange. Things go a little bit sideways because Veronica does not trust them at all, traps them in a sandbox. And the only thing that can cut the glass is what you call this diamond, Henley. It's Henley's diamond, so they break out. Meanwhile, our trio of Charlie, Bosco, and June all work together, and you find out that Charlie is actually Veronica's brother. He did not die, and this was all a plan to get her arrested and to basically destroy his family's name. But she also tried to shoot him some blanks. But you also find out at the end of this movie that Dylan has not been in prison. He faked this whole thing, but he also inducts Charlie, Bosco, and June into the Eye. So I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. And I think a lot of people did because the movie made $154 million in the first week. So pretty much close to making back his budget. I think Zootopia is going to kind of taper that down in Wicked 2. But thoroughly enjoyed it. Like I said, I have no notes about this movie whatsoever. I really did like this movie. And I'm going to go watch Now You See Me and Now You See Me 2 because they are on the shelf. It's been a minute since I watched those. I didn't have time to watch them before. Now You See Me, Now You Don't. But I really hope we get a fourth one and we don't have to wait a decade for it. Like I said, no notes besides Rosamund Pike's South African accent. I didn't know what she was doing. And that alone, that's going to give it a 9 out of 10. Like I said, I don't do halves. If I did, I would give it a 9.5 out of 10 just on account of the accent. But other than that, love the movie. No notes about it whatsoever. But anyway, guys, that was another episode of the Angry Blerd podcast. Be sure to rate, review, subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Dubby.gg. Use my promo code AngryBlerd10 at checkout to save 10% on your order. So it's either going to be this coming week or the week after where I will be. I'm probably just going to do all 4 episodes. I'm just going to do a special Stranger Things Season 5 Part 1 episode because there's 4 episodes in. I don't want to do a week to week with that because other simple fact that the finale will be airing on New Year's Eve, and the other 4 will be airing on Christmas. I believe Christmas falls on a Saturday, so I might have to record the episode on a Friday night. And no, Christmas is on a Thursday, so I hope I'm off on Christmas Eve because then I don't know, I'll figure it out. Anyway, guys, I will see y'all later. Peace.